Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I was kind of nervous to film today's video because I feel like it's going to come off as more of a rant than anything, and I really like to stay positive on this channel and talk about all the ways fashion is improving and, solutions to the problems of fashion. But I can't really see a way around this for now. And I know it's going to come off as a rant, but I also hope that it kind of sparks something that turns into a solution. So I want to talk about the fact that sustainable fashion can be a bit boring. And this is coming from someone that is so ingrained in the industry and so such a believer of sustainable fashion that to me, it's exciting. I love sustainable fashion and I find the progress there so exciting. But to someone outside of the industry that isn't as ingrained in it as me, I can see why it can come off as boring or not much is happening, or why there might be a barrier to entry. I'm going to try articulate my thoughts here, but it's a bit hard. But I know sustainability in itself can be kind of boring. I mean, sometimes it's a lot of work. You often have to research a brand to look into their actual sustainability claims because often they're trying to greenwash you, or you have to know all these things like which material is better than the other. I'm not going to go as far as to say it's work, but it is effort that some people just don't want to spend when it comes to fashion. Fashion should be so fun. And when you mix that with a need to research or, slow yourself down and stuff, I can see why other people think it's just easier to shop fast fashion and shop trend culture and whatever. I think sustainable fashion, if you are part of the sustainable fashion community, it can be really romantic. I try to romanticize my experience a lot, but I don't think it's that glamorous. The process of being sustainable in your fashion choices, I don't think is that glamorous. To outsiders, it's too slow of a process. People are used to a new trend every week. They're used to their favorite fashion brands putting out a new advert or saying this just dropped or whatever, and the hype and excitement of seeing something new all the time. And sustainable fashion is just the absolute opposite of that. It doesn't have that same newness and constant excitement. And I think in today's culture, that's quite a big issue that needs to be solved in terms of changing consumers' mindset about what fashion should be. Like I said, I try to romanticize my behavior with sustainable fashion. I find the idea of slow fashion, loving my wardrobe and taking ages to find something even secondhand that I know is perfect for me and will stay in my wardrobe for ages. I have romanticized that. I love that feeling now. And I love the feeling of knowing that what I'm wearing isn't dependent on trends so much. I'm slowly discovering my personal style, and that to me is enough. But I had to make that a conscious choice. I had to say, I'm going to put in the effort into this. I'm going to learn the fashion industry and learn all of this. And this is why I started my channel and whatever, because I've ingrained myself to the point where I love it so much that I want to talk about it and share it with other people. But I know it's a lot of effort. The thing is, the intention is there for a lot of people. A lot of people want to shop more sustainable. There's so many figures out now that prove that people want to shop sustainably, they want to shop secondhand. But like I said, it's a bigger barrier for entry. You have to do some searching. It's not trend led in the same way. You have to know what you want to buy. No one's telling you what to buy. You have to, or you shop secondhand trends, and that's a whole different thing and a whole different issue potentially. But it's more about taking control of your wardrobe and taking accountability for your shopping habits. And I can see why people who aren't in this mentality find it a massive barrier when the world is the way it is and maybe fashion is just a bit of fun for them. So I think it needs to be on the fashion industry to make things more fun, at the same time as people need to have a mindset shift, because we can't expect brands to be doing all this heavy lifting and make things more fun, which I'll get into in a second, if people are still not in the mindset of they need to stop over consuming and whatever. It's not going to work. And we've seen it happen so many times that something new has come along, but because there's not that consumer interest, it dies really quickly. So it needs to be the two people meeting together. And I think that sustainable fashion brands glamorizing their content a little bit more will help with consumerism. Okay, what do I mean when I say brands need to glamorize sustainable fashion a little bit more? What comes to mind with sustainable fashion is like a brand's like hang tag, whether it be an actual sustainable brand like a small business or whatever, or like a fast fashion knockoff. Their hang tag will be this like really plain, really like natural looking, or more likely green looking tag that just has big bold lettering of, oh, this is made from 100% organic cotton or whatever. And it's just very like plain and basic. Or like, you know, if a brand is launching some clothing, more often than not, that clothing is kind of boring. It's not like fun and colourful and whatever. Or the way they announce it even is boring. Like it will be like just a text post of them saying, we're now offering recycling in store. And it will literally just be those words with a green background on it. I'll try to find some examples to put on screen. But like, who's going to get excited about any kind of announcement from a fashion brand that's just text on screen? And, you know, do you get what I mean? Like, fashion is about editorial. It's inspirational. It's not inspirational to see words on a screen. Why would anyone who's coming from fast fashion resonate with that and think like, oh, I'm going to switch my shopping? No, we need to be focusing on the fun parts of sustainable fashion. I think one way we could fix this is with regulation, which is what I always say, I know. But part of the issue with sustainable fashion is having to put in effort to research whether a brand is greenwashing to you or not. But with regulation, they wouldn't be allowed to lie to us anymore. There would be literal laws in place where they could get fined if they lie. So that would take the burden of research away from consumers. That would massively break down the barrier to entry for a lot of people. I think sustainable fashion brands almost need to take cues from fast fashion when it comes to their marketing tactics, like emulating their aesthetics, or, you know, just moving away from that basic infographic of announcing sustainability claims or, you know, new sustainability initiatives that they seem to gravitate towards now. I think there's definitely been some successes for sustainable fashion in becoming more glamorous. Like, for example, Love Island and eBay collaborating. I think that was such a cornerstone of sustainable fashion being integrated into everyday society. And it saw a lot of success. I mean, they did it again for the second season or whatever. And it replaced a campaign that was mostly fast fashion, for they were being sponsored by Pretty Little Thing, ASOS, Misguided, whatever. But you put secondhand fashion from eBay in the spotlight of the UK's biggest reality show, which millions of people watch, and it worked really well. Okay, so what can consumers do to help change this narrative? Because it can't all be brands. There has to be a meeting in the middle, as I've said. We need to stop thinking of ourselves as things to be marketed towards and take back ownership of our buying power. One way we can do this is start seeing the beauty in your wardrobe. Really force yourself to love your clothes. Like, do a no buying challenge, do a wardrobe challenge where you have to wear all of your clothes in a certain amount of days and style them in new ways or whatever. It will kickstart something in your brain that tells you to value your clothes more. I find it so romantic that I have stories for my clothes. Like, I love getting hand-me-down clothing. I love getting hand-me-down jewelry. I love getting second-hand clothing because it has something attached to it, and that just makes me happy. Like, I love that this thing that I'm wearing has an attachment to someone I love, or I waited for ages to buy this item and I know that I was so happy when I bought it, and that feeling comes back every time I wear it. I think you can also see the beauty in making your own clothes if that's what you want to do. Like, I saw this tweet recently, just the idea of that, like literally making your own clothes, knowing what went into the effort and knowing that no one else has the same thing on as you on the whole planet is insane. One more way is attending events and getting involved in the community. I've literally attended like walking protests, talks, book launches, like swap shops or like secondhand markets and whatever. And each time I go, it reaffirms that belief that what I'm doing is right, and I'm surrounded by a really great community of people who feel the same. And it kickstarts me to love sustainable fashion again and again. Like I said, this was a kind of jumbled video. It's kind of hard to get my thoughts out on this. So I'd love to know if anyone's feeling the same, or if you have any examples of brands who do glamorize sustainable fashion, then I'd love to see that. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for bearing with me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.